Okay, how's everybody doing this evening? Or this afternoon, actually. My name is Kent, and I'm in Tijuana, Mexico. So I'm walking in the line that's actually the line that goes to the United States of America. I just crossed the border, and I'm going to show you a shortcut to go down to downtown Tijuana. So if you've ever been to Tijuana before, I've actually videoed crossing into Tijuana, but they don't like you to do that because they get pretty upset with you if you do that kind of stuff. So, but it's in my previous videos if you want to see how to get across. But right now, I'm already in Tijuana, and I'm going to show a shortcut to downtown Tijuana. Like I say, this line is all for people trying to enter the United States. It's a long line. You probably have to wait for at least, I would say maybe 4 or 5 hours to cross into the United States. But I'm going to show you a shortcut downtown. And downtown is where all the action at. That's where Revolucion is at. And if you want to, do something in Tijuana, that's where usually a lot of the entertainment is at, is in Revolucion. If you take a taxi cab from where I'm at right now, they'll charge you about $30 to take a 5-minute taxi cab drive. Right, it used to be like $5, but lately it's been a lot more expensive. But if you want to get there fast, I'm going to show you a quick way to get downtown Tijuana, really quick. It's about a 10-minute walk, and I'll show you how to do it. So this is the line. And while I'm walking and talking, I want to talk about jobs in America, because there's a lot of jobs I think people should be paid more, or that they at least should make a better wage for what they do. And there's 4 of them I really want to concentrate on and talk about as I make this walk. I'm going to go across this bridge right here. When I go across this bridge, you're going to see the line of cars stacked up to go into the United States. And of course, this is the busiest border crossing in the world. And of course, you can see why. It's really busy. And if you don't have a Sentry card, right there's the Sentry line. If you're in a Sentry line, that means you've already been pre-screened. You get in pretty quickly, but if you don't have that, you're going to be in a long wait. So we're going to go up this walkway, and when I get to the top of this walkway, you kind of see the line of cars waiting to get into the United States of America. So anyway, job number 1 that I want to talk about, where people should be making more money than they make, and that job is a truck driver. I love to watch truck driver videos, YouTube videos. One of my favorite videos to watch is truck driver videos. And the reason is because it's interesting to see everything these guys have to go through to be truck drivers. First of all, there it is. There's all the people getting ready to go into the United States. All the lines of cars. And of course, here's the backup over here. The first thing is, if you're an over-the-road truck driver, and let's say you're going from like California to Texas. So you're not getting paid for the time that you're in your sleeper, or the time you're getting something to eat, or the time where you have to take a rest stop. You don't get paid for that time. The only time you get paid is when those wheels are moving. So that's ridiculous. So these truck drivers, they have to be away from their families for long extended periods of time. They have to be on the road. It's very disruptive for their lives, and of course they've got family and kids and birthdays and Christmas, Thanksgiving, all that stuff. They miss out on a lot of that stuff because when you're on the road, you don't get to go home every night. So I think truck drivers are vastly underpaid in this country. And the main reason I think they're underpaid is because they only get paid for when the truck is when the wheels are turning and the truck is running. That's the only time they get paid. The rest of the time they're not getting paid. And I just don't think it's worth it for a lot of people. I know I wouldn't want to be a truck driver, but you know what? Truck drivers are very necessary. In fact, they're probably one of the most necessary jobs in the country, because without truck drivers, none of us would have the everyday things that we need every day, which is food, clothing, and everything else that we take for granted. It's all brought to us by truck drivers. So truck drivers are one job that is, I believe, incredibly underpaid for what they do. And in the United States of America, with inflation and the way jobs are going, I think truck drivers should be paid more money. That's job number 1. Job number 2, it should be paid more money, and this is the one that I'm very familiar with, is farming. So farmers are at the mercy of the commodities market. And of course, the commodity market is usually always stacked against them. And the reason why is because of the Chicago Board of Trade and commodity prices can fluctuate based on the contracts, the futures contracts, and everything, all the things that can be done to manipulate that price. So I don't necessarily have to be a corn farmer to sell corn. All I got to do is sell a contract, and I can sell corn. So I don't think that's entirely fair for farmers to have to compete against people that aren't actually in the commodity, and they don't have all the investment that the people do that have a commodity or raise a commodity, like the tractors and the trucks, the combines and all that stuff. All that stuff is entirely too expensive today, and I think farmers are incredibly underpaid. And of course, without farming, our trade balance is already incredibly, we're in a complete deficit as far as our trade is concerned. And if we don't pay the farmers more money and keep them in business, then we're really going to be in trouble as far as our trade deficits are concerned. So farmers are going to have to be paid more money. That's all there is to it. Farmers got to be paid more money for our economy to be to grow and continue to be prosperous. And back to this walk. I always enjoy this walk. And one of the reasons I enjoy this walk is because you could see at one time they really expected this to be a main walkway for a lot of people, and it's deteriorated and it's fallen apart. It's not very clean, and it's like at some time in the past somebody designed this to be a lot of foot traffic, and it just never really materialized. And a lot of these businesses aren't very good. In fact, they're closed down, as you can see right there, and they got graffiti around here and stuff. So it's just a few minutes to walk to downtown Tijuana, and it's not very nice. In fact, it's kind of if you walk down here very often, you see some very, very bizarre things. And a lot of people say it's not safe. I wouldn't say that it's dangerous if you kind of keep to yourself and you don't really interact with people. But I wouldn't be doing anything crazy down here. I wouldn't be causing too much. I wouldn't be causing too much attention to myself down here. I'd be like I always do. I kind of keep to myself. I'm not doing that today because I'm making a video, but most of the time, if you just kind of keep to yourself, you're in pretty good shape. So I don't really worry too much down here walking around. In the distance, you can see the arch, like the arch in St. Louis. They have an arch down here too. It's kind of nice. It's a very common, very popular area. If you live in Southern California, most people have been to Tijuana. A lot of people I meet down here, and they're from the United States. They tell me that how they don't usually come to Tijuana because they're worried about coming down here because of crime and whatnot. And of course, anytime there's crime down here, it really gets publicized. So there's a lot of things that happen down here, and anytime something happens, it gets magnified. Okay, so farmers need to be paid more money. And if you don't start paying farmers more money, you're going to be in big trouble. The economy is going to be in big trouble. The third job that people need to make more money in this country is, I think, teachers. And I'm not talking about college professors. I'm talking about, and maybe college professors, but I'm talking about people that work every day, and someone to stop here before I get run over. The people that work in the public school systems. So if you're teaching young children, and your day is filled up with making sure kids are learning or getting kids to learn, that job should be well paid, because it's very difficult when you're working with young kids with all the technology we have today, phones and everything we have today, for you to keep their kids' attention and keep them occupied in school. That's a difficult job, and I think a lot of states, they don't pay their teachers enough money. A lot of municipalities, a lot of school districts, they just don't pay their teachers enough money. In fact, I saw this map one time. Of the 50 states in the United States of America, the highest public paid position is the football coach. So in all these, and I'm sure I know it's that way in the state of Nebraska. I mean, Nebraska is a big football state. I grew up in the state of Nebraska. And the football coach, I think Matt Rule's his name, makes about $10 million a year. So you got a football coach making about $10 million a year. And I'm sure the public school teachers are making a fraction of that, probably, not even making $50,000 or $60,000 a year. And you got a football coach making $10 million. That's just wrong. That's just a disparity that just shouldn't be right. Yeah, football is great. It builds a lot of people that follow the state. A lot of people, I mean, I'm sure it's based on the amount of income it brings in, and I'm sure the football team brings in a lot of money. But the bottom line is they need to pay, and that's fine, they can pay their football coach $10 million a year, I don't care. But they need to pay their public school teachers more money. Public school teachers should be making more money than, $50,000 or $60,000 a year. So number one would be truck drivers. Number two would be farmers. Number three would be school drivers or school teachers. And then the fourth position I think that people need to be making more money is law enforcement. You can see this area has never really done much, but this is a nice square. They have a nice square here and it looks like everything's kind of closed down. It's just like at one time it looked like it was kind of maybe a happening area, but now it's just closed down. It's too bad because it's really actually a nice walk for people that want to go downtown Tijuana. So the final jobs that I think people need to be paid more is law enforcement. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I like YouTube. I get my entertainment watching YouTube. And I see a lot of times where law enforcement officers, are really being heavily scrutinized right now because they all wear body cams. So everything they do is under the watchful eye of a camera. And a lot of times you're working long hours, people don't give you any respect, or maybe people just don't treat you with any kind of, they don't do what you ask them to do. I mean, I think 95% of the time, if you just basically treated law enforcement officers with a little bit of respect, there wouldn't be a problem. But, that 5% of the time where you do have a problem, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that maybe we should pay them more. Maybe we should get law enforcement officers that are paid more because of what they do. They are in a tough job. There are times where they do have to do things that are basically life and death situations, and I think they should be paid for. They should be paid, and they should be compensated for that. So those are the four things I would say. In this country, we need to be paying people more money. And I'm about ready to walk across what I would consider, hey, how you doing?
Thank you.
Yeah, probably the dirtiest river maybe in the world. As we walk across this bridge. And right there's the arch I was telling you about. That's downtown Tijuana right there. When you see that arch, you're right at downtown Tijuana. I'm going to cut the video right after we get across this bridge. But this bridge, I think they call this the Tijuana River. It's not like a river. I think it's just basically a place where all the sewage goes into and just runs through the city. And of course it runs down along the United States, because right there's the wall, right there's the arch, and right here I think is the Tijuana River. So this river's got to be one of the dirtiest rivers in the country, or the world. And it's funny because I've seen everything going on down there in this river. I've walked across this bridge a lot of times. I have seen people bathing in there. I have seen people swimming in there. I've seen about everything you can imagine in this river flowing through Tijuana. And like I say, it's probably one of the dirtiest rivers in the world. And right, of course, if you go this direction, you're just going to run right into the Pacific Ocean. And I don't know how much of it, what they do with it, if it just goes directly into the Pacific Ocean, or they do something to kind of clean it out before it gets there. But you wouldn't want to fall into that river, I guarantee you. It wouldn't be a place where I think you'd come out very happy once you got out of that place. So anyway, once you get across this bridge and walk 2 blocks up the street, I think to the south, and then take a right, and you're going to be right downtown Tijuana. That arch that I'm showing you right now looks like the St. Louis Arch. That is Revolution Street. Revolution. That street called Revolution. That's where the main street, the main part of Tijuana is. So right now, you see how, I've been walking, what this video is about. I'm 14 minutes and 30 seconds. So 14 minutes and 30 seconds, I'm basically able to get downtown Tijuana, rather than take a $30 taxi drive. And here's the Tijuana police, or Tijuana Border Patrol, whatever. They heavily patrol this area. I see a lot of them coming around down here. So it's like I say, you see a lot of police presence, a lot of things going on, and it's a busy place. About anything you want to find is here in Tijuana. It's a very, very, very busy place, very active place. And if you've never been here, I would recommend it. I mean, I enjoy coming down here simply because of the fact that they're it's a little more free-spirited than in the United States. And you see, like right there's a Smart and Final. You see a lot of the same places you see in the United States of America, but it's just a little more freewheeling down here, a little bit more like the Old West down here in Tijuana. So anyway, I'm going to end the video right now. Walk back to the United States. I have to go through the line. It takes a little bit of time, but I do have a Century card, so I'll get it done pretty fast. So like I say, 4 jobs where people need to be paid more. And the overall economy needs to be doing a lot better too, because right now, no job is paying very well, considering what you have to do working for somebody, how much you have to give, and how much security you get out of it, and then how much they give you back in return, which is a paycheck that gets worth less and yet less every day. So I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.